Eddie Murphy, the legendary comedian and actor known for his decade-spanning career in razor-sharp wit, made headlines last night after a tense and unexpected altercation with late-night host Stephen Colbert that resulted in Murphy abruptly walking off the set of The Late Show. The evening began like any typical celebrity appearance. Murphy arrived with charisma. Fans cheered wildly, and Colbert welcomed him with a warm, albeit slightly cheeky introduction. But beneath the surface, tension had already begun to brew. Colbert, known for pushing buttons with political undertones and social commentary, hinted early in the interview that he intended to dive deeper than the usual promotional banter. While Eddie initially laughed along, flashing his trademark smile, the mood shifted as soon as Colbert referenced Murphy's past controversies, specifically pointing out the comedian's early career material and asking if he ever felt guilty about how it aged in today's social climate. Murphy paused, visibly surprised, and calmly replied that he had already addressed all that years ago. Yet, Colbert pressed further, challenging him with quotes, archived clips, and commentary from critics, seemingly hoping to extract a soundbite for the following day's headlines. Murphy, while maintaining his composure, attempted to steer the conversation back toward his upcoming film project. "You know, Stephen," he said with a laugh, "I didn't come here for a roast or a redemption arc. I came to talk about this new movie I've been working on for the last 2 years." But Colbert didn't let up, shifting gears into a new line of questioning, this time referencing Murphy's long absence from Hollywood and asking pointedly whether he had retreated from the public eye out of fear of criticism or because Hollywood didn't have room anymore for the Eddie Murphy of the 80s. That comment hit hard. Murphy's expression shifted. The audience's laughter faded into an uneasy silence, and for the first time, his answers began to shorten. "Is this a talk show or a therapy session?" he snapped, drawing a few gasps and some awkward laughter from the audience. Colbert, sensing the reaction, tried to smooth things over by joking that sometimes tough love makes great TV, but the damage had been done. Murphy's body language turned defensive, arms crossed, his charming demeanor replaced by something sharper and more guarded. The interview had clearly derailed when Colbert returned from a commercial break. Perhaps hoping the tension had cooled, he tried again to re-engage Murphy by bringing up the comedian's influence on modern entertainers. "You're like the godfather of stand-up," Colbert said. "Do you think today's comics have it easier or harder than you did?" It was a softball, likely an attempt to lighten the mood, but Murphy wasn't having it. "Man, you can't praise someone after kicking them in the gut," he said, shaking his head. "You know, it's crazy. I've done thousands of interviews, and I don't think I've ever had one like this. I thought we were going to have some laughs, but you seem more interested in dragging up ghosts than celebrating the living." A stunned silence filled the studio. Colbert leaned back in his chair, his smile faltering slightly. "I just ask what the audience is curious about," he replied. "I think they deserve honesty." That phrase seemed to be the final straw for Murphy. He stood up slowly, still micked, and addressed both the host and the crowd. "I've given honesty my whole life. That's what comedy is. But this feels more like an ambush." Without another word, he removed his lapel mic, placed it gently on the desk, and walked off the stage. As he exited, the camera cut to Colbert, who looked momentarily stunned. He turned to the audience with a smile that was half apology. "Well," he said with a nervous chuckle, "ladies and gentlemen, Eddie Murphy." The applause that followed was tentative at best, and the energy in the room had clearly shifted from excitement to discomfort. Backstage sources later revealed that Murphy had arrived at the studio in high spirits and had no idea the interview would take such a serious and confrontational turn. He thought he was coming on to promote his movie, maybe tell a few stories, have a few laughs, a crew member told reporters. But as soon as the conversation veered into his past, you could see he was caught off guard. The same source also mentioned that Murphy did not return after the segment ended, and his team declined all post-show media availability. Meanwhile, social media erupted. Clips of the confrontation were shared rapidly across platforms, with hashtags like #MurphyWalkoff and #ColbertClash trending within minutes. Fans were divided. Some praised Colbert for asking hard questions, while others accused him of being disrespectful and needlessly confrontational. The reaction online became a case study in generational perspectives. Younger viewers argued that celebrities should be held accountable for their past, regardless of their legacy. If Eddie Murphy made jokes that hurt people, he should be willing to talk about it. One viral tweet read. Meanwhile, older fans and many in the entertainment community defended Murphy's right to draw a line, arguing that the context of past comedy should be acknowledged without being weaponized. He's addressed this before, publicly and with grace. Rehashing it on late-night TV feels cheap, said a fellow comedian in an Instagram post. Even former talk show hosts weighed in. Arsenio Hall, Murphy's longtime friend, tweeted, "I've known Eddie 40 years. What happened on Colbert tonight wasn't a conversation, it was a setup." Colbert's own team issued a statement later that evening. saying they regret that Mr. Murphy felt the conversation was not aligned with the intended tone of the show, and that they respect his decision to exit the stage. The network declined further comment. In the days that followed, the clash became more than just a viral moment. It sparked deeper conversations across the entertainment world about the role of talk shows, the balance between journalism and entertainment, and whether legacy stars should continually be asked to justify their earlier work. Editorials popped up across major outlets, some questioning whether Colbert had crossed a line in his pursuit of edgy content. Others argued that the real issue was a lack of communication before the show. These interviews are prepped. Guests know the general direction. Either someone changed the game plan, or someone didn't read the memo, noted one op-ed in Variety. Meanwhile, Murphy himself stayed mostly quiet until he released a statement 3 days later via Instagram. "I've been doing this since I was 15. The post read, "I've made people laugh in living rooms, theaters, in every corner of the world. I own my past, but I don't live in it. I walked off because I wasn't there to be dissected. I was there to share joy." The statement was met with overwhelming support, with celebrities and fans alike flooding the comments with praise. "You've given the world so much." One fan wrote, "You don't owe anyone your trauma for their entertainment." Others shared their own stories about growing up watching Murphy's movies, how his comedy shaped their lives, and how he navigated fame with remarkable longevity. Meanwhile, Colbert addressed the issue again on his show, offering a more heartfelt reflection. "I've always admired Eddie Murphy," he said, "and maybe I pushed too hard. If I did, I'm sorry. My job is to ask questions, but it's also to listen. And I hope he knows that the door is always open." The audience responded with supportive applause, but the air remained heavy with the knowledge that something unique had happened. A rare, unfiltered clash between two icons, unscripted and deeply human. And in that moment, both walked away, one literally, one figuratively, leaving the audience to wrestle with the aftermath. As Hollywood took stock, agents, PR professionals, and late-night producers alike reevaluated their own approach to guest interviews. A leaked memo from a major PR firm advised clients to request pre-interview topic outlines and to avoid appearances where the line between critique and clickbait is increasingly blurred. This sparked a wave of adjustments in how stars engage with the media, leading to some publicists pulling clients from shows with reputations for unpredictable or overly political hosts. Meanwhile, Murphy returned to promoting his film through other platforms, including podcasts, online interviews, and smaller regional outlets, all of which reported calm, humorous, and engaging conversations. In one particularly candid moment, he joked, "You know, it's funny, I've faced movie critics, stand-up hecklers, and Saturday Night Live writers. But nothing quite prepares you for a late-night host with a mission." The line went viral, of course, but it also helped shift the conversation back to Murphy's enduring wit and resilience. Over time, the drama mellowed into legend. The Murphy-Colbert clash became a case study taught in entertainment media classes. Students dissected the layers, the power dynamics, the media expectations, the role of apology culture, and the commodification of celebrity trauma. Documentaries and YouTube essays began surfacing, with titles like "When Legends Collide," "The Night Eddie Murphy Walked," and "Colbert vs. Comedy, a Modern Talk Show Crisis." Meanwhile, fans continued to debate the incident, using it as a reference point whenever another celebrity interview went off script. For Murphy, the ordeal didn't tarnish his legacy, it added a new layer to it. He remained active, continued performing, and even took part in a Netflix stand-up special that opened with a skit parodying late-night interviews. It was a brilliant move, self-aware, hilarious, and defiant all at once. In it, Murphy played both the host and the guest, mocking the media circus while reasserting control of his narrative. In the final analysis, what happened between Eddie Murphy and Stephen Colbert wasn't just a television moment, it was a cultural flashpoint. It reminded the public that behind every celebrity smile is a person with boundaries, histories, and limits. It showed the risks of mixing journalism with entertainment and highlighted how quickly the tone of a conversation can sour when expectations aren't aligned. And most importantly, it reinforced the idea that no matter how beloved a public figure may be, they're entitled to choose the terms of their own story. Eddie Murphy didn't walk off because he couldn't handle the heat. He walked off because the kitchen wasn't supposed to be on fire in the first place. And in doing so, he reminded the world that comedy may come from pain, but it doesn't mean the pain is up for display on demand. The moment will live on, not as a scandal, but as a turning point. One that will influence interviews, performers, and public discourse for years to come.